So now we're on to the PS3 games, and because I stopped buying the games up until Battle of Z was coming out for the PS3, I don't really know what order these came out in, but I'll go by the order of which I played them. So the first one I played was obviously Raging Blast. No, oh, I made a mistake. I meant to say Burst Limit. Burst Limit was the one that I played on the demo, and I thought, why have we taken a step back? So I played Burst Limit. Burst Limit was responsible for me stop buying Dragon Ball Z games. I just thought, you know, after this, what's the point? Because we're taking 10 steps backwards. But I was not, and then the next, like, as if it couldn't get any worse, the next fucking PS3 game I played with Dragon Ball Z was Ultimate Tenkaichi. My friend loved this game. He's been a Dragon Ball Z fan for ages. And I went, and at this stage I had no idea what this game was about, or anything like that. I just thought, you know, another Dragon Ball Z game, and then he said, you know, it's really good, let's play it, and I played it, and then I said to him, it's like an interactive DVD. It's like, you're basically just watching the game, you barely play, it's just all rock, paper, scissors. So, you know, I thought, after that one, I was like, my god, I don't know what people thought, anyone who pre-ordered that game, or before that game came out, like, did they think it was going to be good? But, unfortunately, I did not know at the time that this masterpiece of a game was coming out, this series, Raging Blast, which is basically like Budōkai Tenkaichi 3 and stuff, only with more what if characters, which is pretty cool. I'm not really a fan of having everyone turn into Super Saiyan 3, but Super Saiyan 3 Broly looks pretty weird. So I don't think I actually played Raging Blast 1, because this was the stage now where I was getting the games to collect them and do let's plays and stuff. But I played Raging Blast 2. Me and Louise Z played this quite a lot, and this is probably the first game Louise Z played that was Dragon Ball Z, or was it Tenkaichi 3? But I introduced her to this game anyway, and she quite enjoyed this. It's a casual fun. But yeah, and then the last game for the PS3 that I have for Dragon Ball Z is Battle of Z, and Battle of Z is, I like it. I might like it just because I have the French version of the game for some reason. I just noticed that. Yeah, it doesn't matter. But I got the collector's edition of this actually, which I forgot to show there. Or the Goku Edition, which comes with Goku. This is the Xbox 360 version, like, but it comes with Goku and a collector's book, which is pretty cool. That Goku figure is awesome. If you ask me, it's like the first figure that I've got. But of Dragon Ball Z, like that's sort of my collection of figures, which I'll show some other day. But yeah, the Battle of Z, I liked it because I was getting back into Dragon Ball Z again. I thought, you know, we've got co-op team battles. You know, I can play with my friends on the PS3, and I just thought co-op team battles was insane, especially when you're fighting our team online, 4 versus 4. 4 of your friends taking on Graded Vegeta or Giant Metal Cooler, anything like that was just awesome to me, and so that's why I got really hyped for this game, got it. Was so much of a fanboy, I couldn't see anything wrong with it at the time. I understand looking back on it that it's not a really great fighting game. The real redeeming quality is that the boss battles are pretty fun. Especially that cooler one. It's so hard, but it's so fun to do with friends. I like it, and it's one of my favourite games of Dragon Ball Z. Probably my 3rd favourite Dragon Ball Z game, I must say, because it got me back into it. And if this game didn't come out, I don't think I would have got back into it, which, you know, was kind of shitty. In terms of games, I always liked watching it and stuff. And then, where are we going next? We'll go to the Wii next. So, I've got Budōkai Tenkaichi 2 for the Wii. I just got that to try out the Wii motion controls. I don't particularly think that you need to get every version of a game. You don't need to get the USA cover and the Japanese cover, or you don't need to get it for every system, but I just got that. I wanted to try the motion controls in the game, and then this little beaut, a Dragon Ball game. Nintendo seems to be pretty good for giving you Dragon Ball games. I don't have the book for this, unfortunately. I didn't know that when I fucking bought it, but the actual game itself looks pretty cool, the disc. So this is a side scroller, so most of those games In fact, pretty much all the games were fighting games. This is like an action adventure side scrolling type game. Actually, I don't think you would call it side scroller. It's an action adventure game. It's pretty fun. It's cool that it's got Dragon Ball in it. I wish that they did it a bit sooner, so as that I could have got it for maybe a GameCube game, because I prefer to have a controller. I don't like the Wii remote. So now the next games, we'll do the DS games. Okay, so we'll do the DS games now. Dragon Ball Origins, got that at a convention. Don't know why it has a black box and it's right thin. I think that maybe it's an American game, but it works on my DS, so I don't mind. Dragon Ball Origins 2 has a thick box, so I don't know what's going on. And then Dragon Ball Z Goku Edition, which is a card game, which I never knew at the time of buying this that I knew it was a card game. I never knew that's how Nintendo started, so maybe that's why. And then on the inside I've got Supersonic Warriors, and I'm not sure if Supersonic Warriors and Legendary Super Warriors are the same series, but yeah, I'm not really a fan of handheld games for Dragon Ball Z because they're just, I don't know, I don't really like them. I got these because if I travel quite a lot for my university course, so these are good to play on the bus and stuff, or in the passenger seat. So that's the best thing about handheld games, is that you can play them in the passenger seat. I have no idea how I'm going to record a Let's Play of them because I don't know how to do it. I asked a few people and no one wants to tell me, so wow. And now we're moving on to Dragon Ball Z Shin Budōkai, which I don't have a book for, and this has got the greatest hits thing. This is another thing I'm going to say. Do not buy the platinum version of a game or the greatest hits version, because I don't think there's anything worse about the game. Maybe they get rid of some bugs for you, but I just don't like the box that they ruin it with their shit. Especially platinum games, they ruin the disc. So yeah, I don't like that. I'd advise you to not get it. If you can get a game for like a fraction of the price, then yeah, okay, do it, sell yourself out. But that's what I would do. But no, I don't mean that. I think I always try to get the proper version. I don't like getting the platinum versions because I don't know, it just doesn't look as good to me whenever you have them all lined up. But that's just a superficial thing. Then we're on to Xenoverse, and I got the collector's edition of Xenoverse. So there's the case, and again I got a French case. Every time I get a collector's edition, I get a French case, which I don't mind as long as I can understand the game. But here's the collector's edition box, and you can hear stuff falling about inside it. It came with a figure of Trunks, but no collector's book, which was kind of shitty. That's what this thing that Battle Z had over it. But yeah, so no, I got a Trunks figure with it, which is pretty good, because I find it hard to justify buying figures purely because I just think I'm going to buy it, I'm going to set it somewhere, and then I'm going to have to move it because it doesn't look good where I have it. And I don't have much room to display stuff. That's why everything's just sitting here in a big mess right now, because I've just rummaged through it. But yeah. So now the last two games are Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi. I don't know how to say this stuff, for the Game Boy Advance, and Dragon Ball Z Legendary Super Warriors for the Game Boy Color. I never had a Nintendo handheld growing up until I got the Nintendo DS Lite. So I never had any Game Boys or anything, so I never experienced having to look after a cardboard box until obviously I got the collector's edition of Budōkai Tenkaichi 3. But I really think, like, a lot of kids threw away the boxes, but I would not have thrown away a Dragon Ball Z box. So, and it's a shame because Game Boy games, to get the box with them is kind of difficult. Especially to get it in good quality, so that's why I haven't really been collecting them too much. I was focused on PS2 games and making sure I had all them and stuff like that. But so the last piece that I'm going to talk about before I start giving advice, proper advice on how to collect, is this, and this is a plug and play, and I'm not one of them people that keeps things in the box and doesn't play them, but the only reason I did is because when I got this and I looked at the back, I was like, I'm going to play this for 2 minutes and then I'm going to put it away forever, and I'm going to have ruined the box, and it's going to be hard to store, and it's going to break, But yeah, look at Shenron, looks pretty cool. That's a joystick, and then the Dragon Balls are buttons and stuff like that. So I imagine the pinball game is probably as fun as any pinball game can be on it. There's a few fighting games from the looks of things. Not sure what else there is. There seems to be something else you can buy to get with it, but I don't know. I only got that because I thought that would be a fun way to introduce someone to, you know, playing the games or whatever. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, I can't even play that in 2-player because I only have one. So I just thought, you know, just leave it in the box. It looks cool. In the future, if I can trade it to get a different game, you know, someone who's collecting plug and plays, maybe they'll have a Dragon Ball Z game that I can trade them for, or maybe someone will want to buy it and I can use the money to buy a different Dragon Ball Z game. Okay, so that about does it for me going through the games. Now I'm just going to maybe mention a few personal favourites. Obviously Dragon Ball for the Super Cassette Vision, which is up here now, is probably my favourite out of them all because it's the rarest. And it's just weird because it's a shooter and you don't really associate that with the Dragon Ball games nowadays. Well, maybe V2's maybe more rare than it, but yeah. So I would recommend if you can pick up Dragon Balls for the Super Cassette Vision, do it. It goes on eBay, it's a bit pricey sometimes, but you can get a good deal. Budōkai Tenkaichi 3, like, the game really, it speaks for itself, you know, among Dragon Ball Z game collecting fans and Dragon Ball Z game fans, not even collectors, but it's just one of the best games. It's great to go back to and, you know, get to pick all the different characters and, you know, make your 5-on-5 team battles. It's pretty fun. It's so many characters from the movies and from Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball GT, and Budōkai 3 as well, obviously. I would recommend that. The Raging Blast series is pretty good. It's a lot like Budōkai Tenkaichi 3. A bit less characters, but I would say that it's a good option if you don't have a PS2 at the minute, because a lot of people don't have them now with PS4s coming out. So if you don't have a PS2, get Raging Blast. And there's a HD collection of the Budōkai games that obviously you've seen, so I would recommend getting them for the PS3 if you've got one. I think all those games are available for Xbox systems as well, but I don't really play Xboxes, so I'm not too sure. Then, now some advice I'm going to give is that if you're going to start collecting, one thing that I advise not to do, and I do this all the time, so I know what I'm doing is wrong, but I'll get to the point here. When you're getting these collector's editions of Dragon Ball Z games, I don't know what it is about Dragon Ball Z games, maybe it happens with other games too, but I've noticed that every time I buy a collector's edition of a Dragon Ball Z game, within half a year, so 6 months of the game coming out, people are selling the collector's editions brand new for stupidly low prices. Like Dragon Ball Z, the Battle of Z Goku Edition, I know it was a terrible game, but well, I don't think it was a terrible game, but other people think it's a terrible game. Came out for the PS3, it had the Goku Edition, comes with a figure, art book, really good collector's edition. I think it was £80, so I don't know how much that is in dollars, and I don't even think it came out in America. It was £80 on release. Now you can get it for about 50 to 60 on eBay. I bought it on release, so I don't mind. I was willing to pay that. I never buy a game if I don't think it's worth the money, so I think it's worth 80. Other people don't. That's fair enough. But yeah, so now you can get it for cheaper. So if you want to collect, if you're going to get collector's editions, you're going to get them cheaper now than you were if you had got them when they came out, and I don't know why that is. I'm not sure what it's like with older ones before Battle of Z, but with Xenoverse, it's looking the same way at the minute. And I think it's resellers buy a lot of them and then think they're going to sell them on for profit in the future, but there's not really that much of a demand. I don't really know if there's any other people out there that really go for collecting Dragon Ball Z games. I suppose it's because they're all just fighting games, and each, you know, like with Budōkai 1 to Budōkai 3, it was just improvements going along. So it's basically like a patch coming out each game, so there's not really that much different. I think that if you want to get a variety of different Dragon Ball Z games, there are card games obviously for DS, the Nintendo DS. There's obviously the shooter that I mentioned for the Super Cassette Vision. There's action adventure games, you just have to look for them. There's Dragon Ball Z Sagas is an example of that. Obviously people don't like it, but you know, another thing I'll say is that just because someone says a game is bad, just because the majority of people say a game is bad, it doesn't mean you yourself won't like it. You could like it for a reason that no one else understands. I like Battle of Z for some reason. I don't know why. I can see faults in it, but I still like to play it, and I still play it now. So even with Xenoverse being out, I like Xenoverse. Some people don't. It's just, it really comes down to a matter of opinion. If you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, chances are you are gonna like the games anyway, just because it's Dragon Ball Z. But yeah, I think that's about all I can say about that. So really just don't get the collector's editions. That's the main thing I would say. Don't get the collector's editions on release. Obviously, there's another flip side to it, is if no one gets them on release, then no one's going to be selling them after it comes out, so then no one's going to get the games at all. I always get them on release. I'm not going to tell you that I don't do that. I know I shouldn't, but I pre-order them because I like to have it all brand new. And I like to have it on the day it comes out, because I don't know, I'm just weird like that, I suppose. But yeah, so any questions that you have for me, just leave them in the comments below. And subscribe, because I'm currently trying to complete this collection. So I'm going to be doing haul video kind of things and stuff, like unboxings of the games that I get. I'm going to try to get all the Famicom games next. So yeah, so subscribe if you want to see videos like that, and yeah, that'll do. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.